G'day folks, this afternoon I've finally made my way down to this lagoon here that I love to see if I can catch a carp. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now I said I've finally made my way down here because getting into this spot today was a bit of a nightmare. There were trees over the track and it probably took me an hour longer than it should have just to get in here. I just cleared this tree off the track so that I could get through. Don't ever underestimate the power of an electric chainsaw. This little still, it's an absolute ripper. I cut all the small limbs off and made them more manageable, dragged them all out of the road, then cut the larger parts into smaller bits, got them out of the way. Now I'm right to go through. And I've still got full battery power. There's the lagoon that I want to fish, and I can see a massive carp just there. It's got to be close to 70 centimetres long. I can see it just free swimming in there. Wow. Anyway, I'm about 100 metres, not even that, 60 or 70 metres from where I want to fish. And ta-da! That's going to take some work. Oh well, I'll get around it. It looks like there's another one behind that. Wow. Just when I thought I was buggered, now I'm really buggered. I didn't get it off the track. I haven't got all day, but I have opened an area around the back there that I can get through. And while I had my saw out, I got rid of the next one down the track as well. I've literally got to go about 60 or 70 metres. Surely I can get there from here. Now I've got to go out tonight, so I don't have a whole lot of time. I've got about probably a bit under 2 hours to try and catch a carp. And I'm going to have two rods. This is a paternoster rig with two Jan-Juck worms, and the other rod is my old Black Queen fishing rod. It's got a bubble float and some corn. Check out this beast. This is the old Black Queen, Jarvis Walker Black Queen fiberglass rod from the 1970s. It's got a red and white bubble float. I'm not going to cast it out all that far. I reckon that far will do. I've got about a metre dropper, so once that bait hits the bottom, it won't drift too far if it's not too windy. Righto. Worms and corn. Go and sit down for a bit and see what happens. Oh, a carp just jumped there then. I just hit the camera at the record button because my line moved, my worm line. I don't know whether it's the wind or whether it's getting a bite. Why's my float moving like that? Something's towing, Matt. Something's towing my float. Got him. Well, the old Black Queen's hooked up. The old float corn combination. Didn't fight, better not be a turtle, but no, it's not. It wouldn't fight like that. It didn't bite like a carp. Look, it's a carp, and it's quite a large one. Look at the old Black Queen. The old vintage fishing rod. I've only got 4 pound line on here. This is a Piscafun reel. Piscafun Honor XT. I reviewed this reel a couple of years ago for them. I quite like it. $60 I think it was at the time. $70. They say cheap Chinese crap, but I'd prefer to call it just the cheap Chinese reel because I don't think it's a bad reel. Right. I can't tighten my drag. I just can't put too much tension on it because I'm only using 4 pound line. It's not mind-blowingly big, this fish. It's probably... He got off! I didn't get off, he snapped me line. Well, I come there to have a bit of fun, and that's what I done, had a bit of fun. Actually, it didn't snap me line, it got off. There's the hook. I thought I snapped the line. There you go. I'll put some more corn on and get it back out. Don't cry, Robbie. Don't cry. Don't cry, Robbie. You've got it in you. Right, I've just gone and put some fresh bait on. I've got some fresh corn. One of the reasons I've come to this spot, I'll tell you now, one of the best Murray cod rivers in the state. The Ovens River is about 100 metres that way. So why am I here on the lagoon? Well, like all places, the Ovens has its good and bad moments. At the moment, it's not fishing great. I was down there with Holly the other night and we caught nothing each. The week before I caught nothing and Holly caught 5. So my last 2 trips to the Ovens, I've caught nothing. The water's quite dark and it's just full of shrimp, and they're like piranhas. The moment the bait hits the bottom, it's tap, 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 and they just skin your bait. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go down to one of my favourite lagoons, this one, and see if I can catch a carp. This is one of my favourite places to fish in sort of April and May in the cold, clear mornings. I'll sit here, the sun will come up over there. I'll sit here in the sun, and it's just such a beautiful, peaceful place to fish. And I do find that it fishes better at sunrise at that time of year. Then as the sun gets high up in the sky, the fish slow right down, which is why I haven't really got high expectations here today. But I've hooked one, and I've got another hour or so left to try and hook another one. The water's actually looking better in here in this lagoon than what it is in the river at the moment. Because we've had so many storms and so much wind lately, all of the really small lagoons are black like ink. The river is quite dark as well because all the leaves are falling in. So with a lagoon this big, because it's so wide and so open, the leaves are only falling around the edges. So there's a lot more water to break down those leaves and absorb the tannins that are coming out of the leaves. So the water's not as dark here. So it looks a lot better here than what it does in the river. And much better than what it does in the small little lagoons. Look like ink. Me float's getting towed around again. Just had a nice bite, my float got towed around a bit. The problem is, I get up out of my chair and come running over here, and I reckon the fish must feel that. They must feel that there's someone walking around on the bank, and it must scare them. I need to gently tiptoe over here when I get a bite. I just got back to my chair and my float's got pulled under. I'm trying to go gentle, but it's under the water and it's got to be on there. He's on there. Oh no, he's gone. Oh, I snapped my line. I snapped my line and my float's out there. I just hooked it and went snap. That must have been a big fish, I reckon. I need to get that float back. It's not that I'm scared of getting my feet wet. I'm scared of having to put my shoes and socks back on with wet feet. Luckily I've got my bogs in the car. That might help. I don't think the bogs are going to be that much of a help, to be quite honest. It's out too far. I'm going to have to get water in my bogs. Oh, water's very warm. Knowing me, I'll probably end up with about 16 tiger leeches on me. Ugh. Did I get it? Yep. Get me out of here before the leeches attack. Right, I've got some fresh corn and a fresh hook. I've got my float back. Put it back out there where it was. Doesn't need to be out too far. I think there's a part of me that actually really enjoyed being in that water then on such a hot day. And I think there's a part of me that says, Robbie, take the worms off and put corn on the paternoster rig as well. So I think I'll do that because all the action's been on the corn. Right, here's the corn. I put corn on my paternoster rig. I don't know how I feel about that, but anyway. I might cast it away a fair bit, away from all the commotion. The reason I don't know how I feel about it, I like to have worms on one. What if there's something else in here that shouldn't be here, like a yellow belly or a silver perch, or silver perch will take corn. I don't know whether yellow belly will or not though, but now what if there's a cod or a redfin or something in here? I like to have worms on, just in case. I always like to have at least one worm rod on. These can go out here in the designated bog drying zone. Oh, me float. Run over there in bare feet. Me float's bouncing, look, something's taking it, and got him. Can I land this one? Struggling a bit today. It's always a struggle when it's big fish and small line, a light line. Light line and heavy fish. I've had a quick glimpse. It looks like it's about a 50 centimetre model. But what you've got to remember, there's no current, the water's warm, they are at their prime. They are at their hardest fighting when the water's warm like this, I reckon. I reckon most fish here, in this area, fight better in the summer when the water's warm, and that includes Murray cod. I've just got my finger on the drag there. That's why it sort of sounds a bit stuttery and not real smooth. I'm sort of feathering the drag with my finger. I'd like to at least get a good look at this one. Yeah, the old Black Queen gets a good old bend in it, doesn't it? That's quite a large old Carpio. Keep an eye on that rod as well. He's tiring. Yeah, I can't go in any further because me float is as far as I can reel it in. Alright. This is why long rods like this make good float fishing rods. And in the net, got him! Ha ha, I'm on the board! Let's get a photo. There you go folks, one big one. Well, kind of big, probably about 57 or 58 centimetres. I'll dong him on the head and get my line back in as quick as I can. Righto. Fresh corn on the float rig. Back out, ready for the next monster. The wind's changed direction though, it's going to blow it that way now. That's not cool. If that happens, I might have to swap rods so that I can cast this one over there and let that one drift down that way. Which it is happening. Oh, looks like we're swapping sides. What's my float doing there? I just come to check this bait and my float's getting a bite. I just come to check the bait on the paternoster rig and the float was bouncing up and down. It stopped. As soon as I picked the rod up, it stopped. I come over here to check the bait on this rod and this one started bouncing up and there it goes. There's a few rings forming under it here. And something's got it again. Something's nibbling at that corn again. And it stopped again. You've got to watch the float and just look for rings forming around it. Now it's pulling the other way. Here we go. Got him. I came over to check this one. I'm having fun here. It's a bit warm, other than that it's fun. I'm actually enjoying having bare feet. I've got no shoes on ever since I went in the water before. It's a pretty good feeling, I reckon. I feel grounded, I think, just wearing bare feet, and you just feel connected to the earth. I like it. It's a smaller one, this one. A bit more manageable. Probably only about 35 centimetres. Oh, I spoke too soon and I said a bit more manageable. He's just gone straight into all them snags. Gotta be joking. Just popped down here into Leachville. I don't even know whether he's still on there. Spoke a bit too soon that time, didn't I? He's gone, I think. He snagged on something else down there. That like being in this water, there's so many leeches around lately. He's gone. Well, I snapped it anyway. Bugger! I spoke too soon when I said he's a bit more manageable. float's getting all the action today. I'll finish what I was doing here. Check my my paternoster rig and put it back out. Then I'll put a new hook on my float rig. A question that I'm often asked, and one that I struggle to answer, is what size hook am I using? This is a bait holder, Jarvis Walker bait holder 4, size 4. I never know. I've never been a big one for studying numbers when it comes to hooks. I just go into a tackle shop and say, yep, that's the one I want, about that size. And then people say, what size hook is it? And I honestly never know. When I buy hooks from the shop, I don't even look at the size. I just look at the hook, think, yep, that's the right size, one about that size. I do like bait holder hooks. The style hooks, the bait holder hooks are my favourites, and they're called bait holder hooks. They're called bait holder hooks because they've usually got a couple of really small barbs on the back of the shank there, just to help hold the bait on. So there's a bait holder hook, size 4, Jarvis Walker, and the reason I chose them is because when I went into the tackle shop, they were the ones that I liked the look of. People will probably think that this video is sponsored by Jarvis Walker. I've got Jarvis Walker bait holder hooks, the Jarvis Walker state-of-the-art Black Queen fishing. Ooh, that was a bite on me paternoster rig. It's gone really slack. That something's taking up the slack. There's this fish on there. Got him. Not overly big, this one. I just feel a bit smaller because I've got a more modern rod. There's me landing net. Right, Carpio number 2. Number 2 landed, about number 5 hooked. We'll get it out there. Oh look, someone's broken a chair and just left it there. Just noticed that there now. Just hot. It's hot. I'll pick it up in a minute. I'll get this back in. I'll deal with the carp. I'll pick up that broken chair. Then by that stage I'll either have another fish on my line or I can go and relax for a bit longer. Righto, floatio. Now where's this carpio? In there somewhere. Probably about... I'll get that hook out. And I'll show you. The hook's out. Now it's tangled on the net. Ah, thing. Right. There he is. I'll bring him over here to the nap time area, the crib room. Carp about 40 centimetres. I've got to get back. Despite having to saw through a heap of fallen trees and only catching a couple of carp, I've had a wonderful afternoon. This is one of my favourite places. It's only really a carp fishery, but it's a very peaceful place, and it's a place that I love to spend some time. I've had a fantastic afternoon, or a fantastic couple of hours. Thank you all very much for watching.